Imagine earning more money than your parents ever did. You finally buy the house. You finally buy the car. You finally get promoted. Your salary is higher than it's ever been. And yet, you still check your bank account before making purchases. You still worry about unexpected bills. You still stress about retirement. You still feel like you're one emergency away from financial problems. So what happened? If your income is higher than ever, why doesn't it feel like you're getting rich? Why do so many middle-class families earn decent money, own nice things, and still feel financially trapped? And perhaps the most important question of all, what if the middle class isn't struggling because they don't earn enough? What if they're struggling because they're playing a game they were never taught to understand? Today we're diving into why the middle class never feels rich, the invisible traps keeping millions stuck, and the surprising difference between looking wealthy and actually becoming wealthy. And trust me, once you see these patterns, you'll start noticing them everywhere. Let's begin. Picture two neighbors. Both earn $120,000 a year. Both drive nice cars. Both live in similar houses. Both take family vacations. From the outside, they look equally successful. But behind closed doors, their financial lives are completely different. One has nearly no savings, credit card debt, car loans, a large mortgage, and constant financial anxiety. The other has investments growing quietly in the background, minimal debt, an emergency fund, and increasing financial freedom. Same income, completely different reality. And that's where the story begins. Because being middle class isn't just about income, it's about how money flows through your life. Most people assume wealth is determined by how much money comes in, but wealth is actually determined by how much stays, and that's a lesson many people never learn. The middle class lives in a strange financial world, too comfortable to feel poor, too stretched to feel rich. It's a place where incomes rise, but expectations rise even faster. Think about what happens when someone gets a raise. Most people expect their financial stress to decrease, but often the opposite happens. A bigger paycheck arrives. Then comes a bigger apartment, a nicer neighborhood, a newer car, more subscriptions, better restaurants, more expensive vacations, and suddenly the raise disappears. Not because the money vanished, because the lifestyle expanded. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it may be the single biggest reason the middle class never feels rich. Because every improvement in income creates pressure to improve appearances, and appearances are expensive. Imagine earning $50,000 a year, then getting promoted to $80,000. For a brief moment, life feels easier. Then expenses adapt. The apartment upgrades, the car upgrades, the spending upgrades, and eventually, your financial situation feels strangely similar. You earn more, but you don't feel wealthier, because wealth and spending often move together, like two people holding hands. The middle class rarely stays still financially. As income rises, lifestyle rises, and the finish line keeps moving. That's why many people who once dreamed of earning six figures eventually discover something shocking. Six figures doesn't automatically create financial freedom. In many places, it barely creates financial comfort. But the problem goes deeper than lifestyle inflation. The middle class is often trapped between two worlds. One world belongs to workers. The other belongs to owners. Workers earn income by trading time. Owners earn income through assets. And the middle class often spends decades focusing almost entirely on the first category. They become better workers, better employees, better professionals, but not necessarily better owners. This distinction changes everything, because workers earn money once. Owners earn money repeatedly. A paycheck arrives, then it's gone. A business generates income. An investment generates income. Real estate generates income. Ownership creates leverage, and leverage creates wealth. The middle class is usually taught how to earn, but rarely taught how to own. Think about school. You learn mathematics, history, science, language, but very few people are taught how assets work, how investing works, how businesses work, how ownership creates freedom. So millions of intelligent people spend their lives becoming highly skilled earners, without becoming skilled wealth builders. And that's why many middle-class families can earn excellent incomes and still feel financially fragile, because income solves today's problems. Assets solve tomorrow's problems. Another reason the middle class never feels rich is comparison, and comparison has become more powerful than ever. 100 years ago, people compared themselves to neighbors. Today, people compare themselves to the entire internet. Every day you're exposed to luxury lifestyles, luxury cars, luxury homes, luxury vacations, luxury watches, luxury everything. And even when people know social media isn't reality, part of the brain still compares, part of the brain still keeps score, part of the brain still asks, why don't I have that? Why am I behind? Why isn't my life like theirs? This creates a strange psychological trap. You can be doing incredibly well financially and still feel unsuccessful because somebody always appears richer, somebody always appears ahead, somebody always appears to have more. Comparison steals satisfaction faster than almost anything else. And then there's debt, the invisible pressure most people underestimate. Debt creates the illusion of wealth, but often delays actual wealth. A luxury car financed over years feels affordable monthly. A larger house feels manageable monthly. Expensive purchases become easier when spread across time. The problem? Future income becomes committed before it's earned, and that changes how freedom feels. Every payment becomes a responsibility. Every responsibility becomes pressure, and pressure makes people feel less rich, not more. Here's something most people never realize. The middle class often owns impressive things, but wealthy people often own impressive assets. Those are not the same thing. A luxury vehicle consumes money. A profitable business produces money. An expensive watch consumes money. Investments produce money. One creates appearance. The other creates freedom. And because appearances are visible, they're rewarded socially. People notice cars. People notice houses. People notice brands. Nobody notices index funds. Nobody notices dividend income. Nobody notices quietly growing assets, which is why many future millionaires look surprisingly ordinary. And many people who look wealthy aren't actually wealthy at all. Now let's talk about something uncomfortable. Many middle-class people are successful enough to survive, but not successful enough to feel secure. That's a difficult position. You can pay the bills. You can afford decent things. You can enjoy life. But one major emergency still feels dangerous. A job loss, a health issue, a recession, an unexpected crisis. The financial foundation often isn't strong enough to eliminate anxiety completely, and that's why so many middle-class families live with constant low-level stress. Not panic, not disaster, just uncertainty. And uncertainty is exhausting over time. This is where wealthy people begin thinking differently. Instead of asking, "What can I buy?" they increasingly ask, "What can I own?" That mindset shift sounds small, but it's enormous. One question focuses on consumption. The other focuses on creation. One spends resources. The other builds resources. And over decades, the difference becomes massive. Because wealth isn't usually built through one huge decision. It's built through thousands of small decisions repeated consistently. The fascinating part is that many people who eventually become financially independent don't dramatically increase their income. They dramatically improve how money flows. They save more, invest more, consume less, own more. They stop trying to look rich and start trying to become rich. Those are two very different goals. Looking rich impresses strangers. Being rich creates options, and options are far more valuable. Another hidden reason the middle class never feels rich is that financial goals are often unclear. People say they want more money, but how much? Why? For what purpose? Without a clear destination, every achievement feels temporary. You hit one milestone, then immediately create another. You buy the house. Now you want a bigger house. You buy the car. Now you want a better car. You reach 6 figures. Now 7 figures sounds necessary. The goalpost moves forever, and moving goalposts make success impossible to feel. Eventually, some people discover a surprising truth. Feeling rich and being rich are not the same thing. Feeling rich often comes from security, control, options, peace of mind. Being rich is a financial condition. Feeling rich is a psychological condition, and one doesn't automatically create the other. That's why someone earning $70,000 with no debt and strong investments may feel wealthier than someone earning $250,000 while drowning in obligations. The numbers matter, but the structure matters more. Maybe that's the biggest lesson of all. The middle class rarely feels rich because it spends most of its life chasing income while neglecting ownership, chasing appearances while neglecting assets, chasing bigger lifestyles while neglecting financial freedom. And the system quietly rewards that behavior because consumers drive economies, but owners build wealth. The moment you understand that difference, everything changes. So if you're middle class today, don't be discouraged. The goal isn't to stop enjoying life. The goal is to stop confusing spending with wealth. Build assets, reduce unnecessary debt, invest consistently, increase ownership, focus on freedom instead of appearances. And remember, the people who become wealthy aren't always the highest earners. They're often the people who learn how to keep, grow, and own what they earn. Because at the end of the day, the question isn't how much money passes through your hands. The question is, how much stays? If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more deep dives into money, psychology, wealth building, and the hidden systems shaping modern life. And comment below, what do you think is the biggest reason the middle class never feels rich?